Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Everton versus Liverpool. The Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. Unfortunately, an empty Goodison Park in what is the most eagerly awaited Merseyside derby for years. Because Everton are top of the league. 4 wins out of 4 in the Premier League. And yeah, oof. Are we all excited?
No,
we're
I
not.
don't like the derbies. I don't like them. No matter how good we are, I don't like them. I think I've said many times on this, the only derby I've really enjoyed while it was still going on was when Andy Johnson had the third goal in. And there was a minute to go and I thought, not even us can throw 3-0 away, surely. But what I would say is it's the best I've felt going into a derby for a while. I feel as though we've got a team that can give them a good game, and by give them a good game, and we beat them. I'm not saying we will, but I just mean I feel like we've got goals in us this time where I think in the past, certainly the last few years, while not fearing them, you'd always think, well, if we can keep it tight and nick one, we can win it. Where I think this time, the way we're playing, or the way we were playing before the internationals, was like we're scoring lots of goals and we could cause anybody problems. And if we play like that, we'll cause this Liverpool team problems.
Yeah, I think that's my feeling as well. Is it's not just 4 wins. I think there's a general confidence that we may actually be a half decent team. Whisper it quietly. The people know what they're doing. People know what their roles are in the team. People understand what the manager wants. People are tactically understanding what the manager wants. It's not just not just a load of players running around. And you know, because that happens a lot. We used to have 11 players who are better than the other 11 players, run around a lot and win games of football. This team actually looks like it knows what it wants to do. The manager knows what he wants to do, and you see that in games. You've seen that against second half against Brighton. You know, the way we sat back and let them have the ball and soaked it up and then hit them on the break and scored the 2 goals. I think there's a lot of confidence in this team at the moment, and I think people keep on asking, you know, and saying, what can Everton do this season? You know, the more confidence we see from the players in what they are doing and enjoying what they're doing, I think the more confidence we'll get. And yeah, I mean, the longer it carries on, the better, including obviously Saturday.
Yeah, I think, and the other thing about it though is that it's always, and I guess you're going to get it because I think I've said a few times, I think we both said, the first thing Everton have to achieve is 2 seasons of consistency, being good, you know, instead of it just being good for a year and then the next year there's nothing to build on. But there's this thing where people are like, well, they haven't played anyone, and it's like, it makes me laugh that because, you know, even when we done like the opposition preview, we had Ross in and it was like, you beat Spurs, but Spurs are crap that day. It's like, well, no, them teams, you have to make them look bad. Everton, Tottenham weren't bad on day one. Everton were just better and could have killed the game off. And then we've had a challenge at Crystal Palace. You know, West Brom gave us a bit of a, you know, couple of goals and had a go. Brighton last time out. And so far this season, in cup games as well, the obstacles that have been thrown in our way, we've been able to get past them. Now, Saturday, if Everton win Saturday, it doesn't mean Everton are going to be in the top 4 or win the league this season. It just means that's a big psychological barrier removed from A, players, but B, fans. If Everton lose Saturday, it doesn't mean that's it. Everything's rubbish. It was wrong. No one should have been talking us up. But I think, to be honest, I think Everton have got more to gain on Saturday than they have to lose. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, what you just said there is quite interesting because some of those teams that we've beaten this season, they're the teams that we generally fail to beat a lot of the time. You know, they're the team, you know, Spurs are a top 6 side. You know, we beat them away. Crystal Palace beat them away. We generally don't win a lot of away games, so to win 2 on the bounce. To win home games that you're supposed to win, that doesn't always happen, but they're the wins that actually get you into the European places. If you can add wins like Liverpool to it, you know, at home. That's why we used to finish around 5th and 6th with Moyes all the time, because we beat the teams we were supposed to beat, and we'd add a few others to it. Liverpool at home, Man United at home. And I know a lot was spoke about as a away record, but that's what That was what he built on, and I think that's what we have to build on. We have to build on those wins and look at these performances. Look at games like the Merseyside derby and think, right, if we can get a win in this, just keep it going. Gives that confidence boost. Like you said there, it doesn't mean we're going to win anything or we're going to, we're going to finish in the top 4. It just means that we get that confidence that we can beat them. And I think that's, listen, it's 10 years to the day, Saturday, since we won a Merseyside derby in the Premier League. Ronald Koeman once famously said it has to change sometime. So why not? And I think if we can get that 3 points, then that just gives everyone that psychological boost more than anything. More than anything, I think that fans will watch games of football and go, yeah, we've got a good team and we've got James Rodriguez and Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring goals and whatever else. But until we get over that psychological bump of a Merseyside derby and winning one, and doing what it takes to win one, then there'll be those question marks. So it is big for us, but as you just said as well, it's not the be all and end all. It's you're looking for a good performance where we go in and we do what is needed to win a game of football like this.
Yeah, I think back to Martinez's first season and that 3-3. We didn't win it. We should have won it. We were a minute away from having it sewn up. But that 3-3 that day, we came out the ground thinking, we've more than bloodied their noses there. We should have beat them. They were a good side and we should have beat them. To be honest, we should have battered them that day. Could have ended about 8-3. Mignolet was incredible. 8-4, Joe Allen, Mr. Sitter, but Mignolet was incredible. But that day you come out thinking we've played really well there and all that. And it's those kind of games. This is, I'm 48. This is the longest time in my lifetime we've ever gone. Same with you. I've not beaten Liverpool in anything. It's, 19 Premier League games since we beat them. That record has to end soon. At some time it will end. This is a great Liverpool team. The champions. They're a brilliant Liverpool team. But I've seen us lose to terrible Liverpool teams. And I've seen us beat brilliant Liverpool teams, and not always with Everton's best team. So it's a derby match. We've seen the last 3. We should have beat them after lockdown. Tom Davies hits the inside of the post. Charlison forces Alisson into a good save. Then we have another one. Dom misses a chance off a corner. We could have beat them. We've had the Tosun one when he headed wide. The one with Dom blazed over. We've had our opportunities in the last 3 years to win this game. But this obviously will be a very difficult
I think
game.
with Carlo, we've got a manager who tactically understands what it takes to beat a team like Liverpool. He beat them when he was at Napoli. I thought last year, even though it was the first game back from lockdown, I thought tactically he got it right, soaked up the pressure, played in the low block and then tried to hit them. And like you just mentioned there, the Tom Davies chance and Dominic Calvert-Lewin after that nearly got us the win. And I think again, going back to what I was just saying there before, tactically, I think he'll have it set up the right way, and it will be a case. Listen, Liverpool love having the ball, and I think they showed against Villa. They had 70% of the ball or whatever it was, and Villa scored 7 past them.
Should have scored 8.
Lads missed an open goal to get the 8. And I think even though that can be looked upon as like the worst case scenario for us, is Liverpool have just taken a hammer and we're playing them next. They're not gonna change the way they play. Their levels are just gonna go higher, but they're not gonna change the way they play. So Carlo will look at that and think, right, well, where do we hurt them? And of course, listen, Villa got lucky at times in that game in terms of 3 deflected goals, and obviously you don't expect the goalkeeper to be giving you a goal within the first 5 minutes. But certainly the way they play. I mean, we went to Anfield last season with Silva. Silva's last game. Everton on another day could have scored 4 that night. Yeah. I know Liverpool probably could have scored 8 if they really wanted to. But the point being was
we had chances.
We had chances to score goals and we didn't take them. And I think with a wide open game, which I really think it's going to be a wide open game Saturday.
Q and 0-0.
Well, that's if it is. But
the last 3 have been 0-0.
Yeah.
No Premier League fixture has ever had 4 consecutive 0-0s. So we'll see.
But that shows you though, doesn't it, where we have been in the last few years of when they come to Goodison, we look at it and go, we'll take a draw here, and that's in a way what we've been looking at. Certainly the last year with the lockdown, or this year, sorry, it feels like last year. With the lockdown, it was more of a like, this is our first pre-season game.
Yeah.
Get through it, and I think both teams felt like that. Liverpool had nothing actually to gain by coming to try and win that game, because they were practically already champions, and it, would have just dented their egos, which they didn't really need. So a draw was fine. The year before, we defended brilliantly well to stop them effectively winning the league that year. And again, we took a lot of satisfaction from that. But I think, it's going to be different this year, because Carlo Ancelotti will feel with the right tactics, it's there to be won.
We've got the players who can hurt them, haven't we? We've got the top scorer in Europe up front for us at the moment. Top scorer at the moment in Europe. He's up front for us. We've got Richarlison, scored for Brazil in midweek, brilliant, playing really well. We've got James Rodriguez, has been incredible for us. Midfield, the core, outstanding. Alan's been outstanding. Andre Gomez is back. Hopefully Luca Dean is fit. Set a goal up in midweek for France, the winner for Mbappe. So we've got players who are playing really well and confidence. And then, we've got players on the bench there as well who've come in and done a job, while the others they'll be back on. Tom Davies, Sigurdsson, all who will be all feeling like they can contribute. So while they're pushing the squad, obviously we've got Ben Godfrey coming into the squad as well, a new signing. So we've got nothing to, if Liverpool would have all been together for 2 weeks since that hammering, you would have gone, all right, the deal. But Van Dijk's been away with Holland, Alexander
They've all been away.
Well, that's what I mean. Everyone's been away, haven't they? There's only Salah hasn't, has he? And Mane and Thiago, but just come back this week. But in general, the defence and the midfield have all been away playing games all over the place. So, Jurgen Klopp's only really going to get his players back Friday. I think it would have been worse if Everton had them a week on Saturday and they'd have been able to get back into it. So it might be a good time to play them, it might not, but as we move forward, one thing from having like some mates who are Reds, one thing I've learned about them over the years is that even when they haven't had the best team, and they haven't, it's only really been the last couple of years, they've still thrived on these games. Whether it was Everton or whether they were playing United who were great, or City, or they've looked, especially at Anfield, they've been like, we'll beat these. Now you look and think, they're miles better. But that confidence and I think probably half of it was because they always had a couple of match winners in the team, even if the rest of the team wasn't very good. Well, Everton have got a couple of match winners now, and I think that's a difference.
I tell you what I think we need to find, and in this game, I'm hoping we get this from this game, one way or another, is, remember after they beat us 1-0, Pickford, we all know the game. Do you remember the next day? And I remember we all felt down and everything. But I remember loads of our fans going, I want them in the cup. I want them straight away. I want to get them straight away. Because there was that feeling that we'd gone to Anfield and we'd put on a really good show and we should have won it. And, the chances we missed that night. There was an injustice, wasn't there? And a lot of people were like, I want them now. I want them now because we can beat them. And obviously, it just went downhill from there. We drew with like Watford and Newcastle, then got turned over by Tottenham massively. But there was that feeling of like, we can match these. Yes, they beat us. But, and I think whatever happens Saturday, we've got to get that feeling, because that almost comes from, again, if you go back to like the 80s, and when we've spoke to any of the 85 team, and when they said, all of them said that Milk Cup at Wembley when we should have won, they were all like, that day we realised that we were as good as them, and even though they beat us in the replay, it was like, that's what took us up a level. We're playing against the best, and we're competing against them. So what does that make us? And I think we have to have a little bit of that on Saturday. And whatever happens, it's a game of football. Could hit someone's arse and go in. You know what I mean?
Let's hope that's for us.
Yeah, the way football is, you could have we know what can happen in football. We know just maybe talking about Pickford, haven't we? If we can come out of that game and go, we give them a game today, and we were good, and we weren't playing massively above our level, that's our level, then I think that gives you confidence no matter what, to go, They're the best in the land, and we're competing. So if that does happen, then I think, you know, whatever happens score wise, that can push us on quite a lot.
Yeah,
we've
got to be in the game. Like, I mean, listen, would they take 20% possession now and we win 1-0? Of course I would, 100%. But we've got to be in the game and causing them problems. And if we do that, that's where that belief will come. If we passing it around, playing our game, what I want to see from Everton at the weekend is us playing the exact way we've played in all of these other games.
Yeah.
That kind of flowing football, that kind of thing where we're attacking and we're creating chances. And if we do that, not only will we give ourselves a great chance of winning this game, we'll give us as fans and the players the belief that, look, we play this way, it can cause anyone problems. I mean, let's have a look at their expected lineup. They've got all the big hitters back for this one. Obviously, we've gone with Adrian's got to play. We've gone Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, and then the midfield three of Henderson, Fabinho and Thiago. And then their front three who've never actually played against Everton at one, started the game against Everton, of Mo Salah, Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane. But what I would say about that lineup, it's very, very strong. It's a very strong lineup. But the fella between the posts means that their backline will be concerned.
Yeah.
And there's no question about that. There's literally no question. As good as that team is, and as good a keeper as Adrian can be at times, Liverpool fans talking to the lads in here, they're like, we're just almost waiting for him
that's the weak
to
point,
make a
isn't
mistake.
It? That's the weak point, but I also think that defensively they're not amazing.
No.
In terms of, because the way there'll be there's a massive boost because Henderson's back, and he sits in front of that back four and he does his job, and he's really important for them. But I think Villa showed you can get behind. If you can get behind them for a start, certainly in those wide areas. Then
They play a high line, don't they? They play a high line. He played the offside trap. Trent Alexander-Arnold's not great at it, as Villa exposed. He's fantastic going.
Yeah.
You've got to worry about him going the other way. There's no arguments. He's brilliant, but defensively, and the lads will say this in here, he's not great defensively and he can get caught out. And I think that's one area where Everton are very strong down that left-hand side, whether that be with Richarlison and Luka Dean or if Nielsen Kunku plays, because again, he's another fast, strong attacking fullback. So Everton can get some joy there. And I think the other thing, what'll be really interesting for me will be James Rodriguez, because if he comes inside, Robertson's either got to come with him, which leaves that whole flank open for Seamus Coleman, or Fabinho's got to come out and engage him. And then if that happens, the key man on Saturday for Everton might actually be Abdoulaye Doucouré breaking, because we should have a man overloaded. So that might be where we can cause them issues.
Do you think though they might try and push Robertson as high as he can, just because I'm just tactically try and expose James Rodriguez's lack of defensive ability?
Possibly, but then we just have to move one of the midfielders over to cover. But me and Doucouré, if you watch the games we've played so far, when the three of them have been in there, Alan, Doucouré and Andre Gomez, Doucouré has gone and stayed over to that right-hand side anyway to fill in for James when James is going with doing his stuff. So listen, out of possession, it'll be a 4-5-1. We know it will, and we'll get bodies behind the ball. In possession, it'll be, let's fly forward and see what we can do, and we can cause them problems. I'm going to give some facts because I've done it every game. It'd be wrong not to. Everton are winless in 19 Premier League games with Liverpool since a 2-0 victory on the 17th of October 2010, which ironically is the date on Saturday when we played. This is Liverpool's longest ever run of unbeaten against a team. 7 of the last 8 games between Everton and Liverpool have finished level, we know that. Said that 4th one before. It's the first time Everton go into a derby top of the league since 1989. It's just mad, isn't it? Some of these I'm definitely not going to read out. Liverpool have lost 4 of their last 8 away games. As many as they had done in their previous 46. So they're not in amazing form, are they? Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored 9 goals in 6 appearances for Everton, making him the top scorer for a player in Europe's top 5 leagues. If he scored He could become the first player to score in each of Everton's first 5 league games since Tommy Lawton, if he scores at the weekend. Mohamed Salah scored 99 goals in 158 games for Liverpool. And it's the game marks 5 years to the day since Jurgen Klopp played his first game for Liverpool down at Spurs. So, yeah, very interesting. So, listen, these games are there, especially for Evertonians, for someone to become a hero.
Yeah,
we love Lee Carsley. We absolutely love him. Kevin Campbell, Super Kev. Let's see if Dom or someone like that can become. I think if Dominic Calvert-Lewin was to get the winner, I think that would elevate him and all the naysayers would literally have to just not say a word then because you've got someone. But it's there for anyone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, whoever scores the next derby winner for Everton will be
hero
for
the generation. For the generations. There you go. How are you feeling ahead of the Merseyside derby? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure to check out our opponents preview over on Patreon. That is there now, so make sure you check that out. Give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as I said, if you want to join us on Patreon for daily live shows, exclusive shows, podcasts, the link is in the description. We'll see you later.